back with the new NuXT build. We've made some progress. Go ahead and power it up. You see, I no longer have two solid drive lights, and they are both plugged in, which you might be able to see there. So that is all set up, and what's more, they're in the correct position. Now this floppy disk actually has problems, so it may give me some trouble. But you can see there, we're able to read that, no problem. And then the 5 1/4 inch is drive B. And it is working just fine as well. What happened is twofold. Number one is, while I was dismantling that over there, this floppy cable here, which has the little marker piece of plastic, I was able to use to determine that I had the cable plugged in backwards on this. So I actually had it plugged in like that the first time, but when I did that, this floppy drive wasn't working. This bottom one, I was having a solid light. Well, as it turns out, this drive is backwards. Most of the floppy drives that I have ever worked with had pin 1 closest to the inside of the drive, including ones that were set up like this. So this one is just kind of, and you'll notice, you can see here as well, this cable goes up, whereas normally the cable is supposed to go down, like this, rather than curling up like this, because that just kind of gets in the way. So this drive is definitely backwards from what it honestly really should be. But that's the way that it works. I was able to determine that by plugging in just the 5 1/4 inch floppy drive until it worked. So that's how we figured that out. But I'm glad that it is now at least working. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to enable the upper memory blocks. Now, you got to be a little bit careful about this because of option ROMs and things like that. If we come over to the manual and we take a look at the memory map here, you can see that we've got spaces here that are taken up by video memory and whatnot. So those are unusable by us. This right here is for your EGA or VGA BIOS or your upper memory block switch 1, which is on that set of switches right there. Because we're using the VGA, we can't use that, at least insofar as I know. The rest of these are free to use, up to 960K. Everything else is above the 960K, and we should be fine. So what I'm going to do, first thing is first, is I'm going to switch all of these on except for one, and we'll see what it does. I'm actually going to go into setup as well and just make sure that I don't have anything to do in there. Yeah, you can quit out of that. And then we need to enable the upper memory blocks, because obviously they're not being used right now. Okay, so we're going to follow the manual here, and it's already got the lines that I believe I need in here for the most part. But if we take a look, the default is what we actually have our upper memory block switches set to. So I don't really need to change a whole lot. What I do need to do, however, I don't want this high on there because I don't know what that's going to do. I think that's usually done when you've got high mem installed and such things. So we do want our use UMBs device here, which is set up correctly. We have DOS Max, which is set up like that. What exactly the switches do, we can investigate later. And then Shell Max as well. So we'll hit yes. We'll reboot, and we'll see what it does. Alright. There we go. We now have upper memory blocks. 160K in upper memory blocks. So, looks good to me. I think we are working the way that we are supposed to. Okay, I'm actually here in Microsoft Diagnostics. You can take a look at all of that. You can see the micro 8088 BIOS. Cuts off, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, this is what we got. We'll take a look at our memory. This is showing up extended memory for some reason, because even though this does not have extended memory, this is not a 286. So, although I guess it technically does have some extended memory. I can't remember if extended memory only applied to above 1 megabyte, or if it also included some part of the 640K to the 1 megabyte. Like I said, we can't add a CD-ROM to this because the NuXT IDE BIOS does not support ATAPI devices. So, I mean, we could, I guess, if we added an outboard controller, but I don't want to mess around with that and have it cause problems by conflicting with the NuXT IDE or anything else that's loaded into memory. Like I was saying, I don't think that Windows 3.0 is really the best the best for this, just because this is only a... I mean, it is an NEC V20, so it is upgraded quite a bit, but even still. I'm going to have to add a PS2 mouse driver, I think, because I don't think it's installed. Hot plugging PS2 devices can be dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, I still have no mouse, so it's obviously not liking my mouse. So that's a little unfortunate. But, I mean, I guess it works. Not sure how many color options we actually got. Look at how long it's taking to draw that. That usually doesn't take that long. That one looks pretty good. So I'll have to figure out why the mouse isn't working, but other than that... Huh. That's interesting. It might be because it's not running in protected mode, because this doesn't have protected mode, so. In any event, I think that's pretty much it anyway. So, I'll have to go ahead and use. I'll have to figure out the mouse. I'll probably end up putting a different version of Windows on this anyway. One that's probably a little bit more well suited to it. But for now, that is it for the NuXT once again.